This is an S3 homework. It's based on the National 5 topic of volume, but really what we're looking to check out is substitution and numerical skills. But this would be applicable to anyone sitting the National 5 with a non-calculator volume question. Right, so we've got 3 questions. I'm going to do them one at a time. So there'll be 3 videos for this homework and we'll get started now. Okay, first question. We've got 2 different companies make cone-shaped ice lollies for the same price. Which ice lolly is the better value? And we're going to show all our working in this. Usually what you get in your National 5 formula list will be some formulae up at the top here. Quite difficult to see because the print didn't come out very well, but I'll write down the formulas as we go along. Okay, so first thing we've got there is we've got Orange Delight at this side, Orange Surprise at that side. So let's work out the volume. If I first write down the volume of a cone, so the volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h, where r is the radius and h is the height. Okay, so let's work out the volume for Orange Delight first of all. So I'm going to substitute some numbers in here. So that's 1/3. I'm going to use pi as 3.14. So 3.14. I'm going to multiply that by the radius. So on this one here, I'm given the diameter. So half of 6 will give me 3. So that's going to be my radius. I'm going to have to square that and multiply it by the height. Now this cone's sitting on its side, but that would be applicable to the height. So that's going to be 16 that's going to appear there, okay? Right, so we'll start working this through, and what we'll do is we'll square the 3 first. So I've got 1/3 times 3.14 times 9 times 16. Right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I've got a 3 on the bottom and I've got a 9 on the top. So they'll divide out by 3. So I'll cancel that to 1 and I'll cancel that to 3. So what I've done is just divided the top and bottom by 3 to simplify it down. Next thing that I've got, I'm going to multiply the 3 times the 16. So 3/16, okay, and what I'm left with is 3.14. And we're going to multiply that by 48. Okay. So what I'll do then is I'll just do a bit of working at the side here. So I'll start with 3.14. I'm going to multiply that by 48 in a kind of traditional method. And what I'm going to do over the homework, the 3 questions, I'll use a couple of different ways of multiplying out that might give some people some new ways and easier ways to multiply. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by the 8 first. So 8 along the top here, we're going to multiply. So 8 times 4 gives me 32. 8 times 1 gives me 8, with 3 is 11. And 8 times 3, 24, 25. So top line there, I've got 2512. I'm going to put in a 0 because what I'm imagining is that's the 40 from 48. So I'm going to multiply it by 10 by putting a 0 in. Then I'm just going to times the top row by 4. 4 times 4 gives me 16, 1, 4 times 1 is 4, with 1 is 5, and 4 times 3 gives me 12. So that gives me 12560. All I'm going to do next is going to add these together. That gives me a 2, gives me a 7, gives me a 10, gives me a 5 and a 1. Okay, so the thing is with multiplying out decimals, all I'm doing here is there's no working with the decimal in the middle there. I'm only going to put the decimal in the end result. So if I look back at my question, I can see here that I've got 2 decimal places there. I don't have any decimal points sitting there, so I'm going to move the decimal point in 2 places. So 1, 2. My decimal point is going to appear there. So what I've got here is 150.72, and that's going to be centimetres cubed, okay, or cubic centimetres. So I've not been asked to round it to any specific amount, so I'm just going to leave it like that at the moment and compare the Orange Surprise against the Orange Delight. So if we go ahead and multiply this one out here, this one seems to be a bit easier to multiply out with the numbers that are going to appear. So the volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. So I've got 1/3. I'm going to multiply that by 3.14 for pi. I'll multiply it by the radius. So again, we're given the diameter, so the radius is half of that, which is 5. Square that, and we'll multiply it by the height, which is going to be 6. Right then, so first of all let's square this one out here. So let's go for 1/3 times 3.14 times 25 times 6. Just the same way as I cancelled some things out from the top and the bottom that were on the same times table. I'm just going to do the same here. So I'm going to cancel out that 3, divide by 3 gives me 1. 6 divided by 3 will give me 2 up in the top there. Now what I've got left is 3.14 multiplied by, and 2 times 25 gives me 50. And I should be okay to multiply that in whichever way I want to do that. If I'm multiplying by 50, what I could do is I could go for 3.14. I'm going to times it by 5 first of all, get an answer and multiply it by 10. And that should give me my answer here. So 5 times 4 gives me 20. That'll give me 7. That'll give me 15. And if I look at where the decimal point should end up, 2 places in, should end up there. When I multiply by 10, that should give me 157.0. Okay. Right, so into here, we're going to go for 157.0, and that's cubic centimetres. Okay. Right, the only thing that's left for me to do is to answer the question, which says which isolate is the better value. Right, so quite a simple statement. We'll say that since, just check and see that that's appearing, yep. So since, let's see which one's the biggest. This one is the bigger one here, okay. Since 157.0 centimetres, they're cubic centimetres, is greater than 150.72 cubic centimetres. Orange surprise. Let's see if it's the right one. So just check, it's orange surprise that's the largest. So orange surprise has the largest volume. And therefore is the better value isolate. Okay, hopefully that all appears on the video there just down at the bottom. Okay, so that's the first question complete. All I'm doing there is using the formula that I've been given for the cone, working it through without a calculator, making a comparison between the two, stating which one's greater than the other and which one has the largest volume and therefore the better value isolate. Okay, that's question 1 complete.